So, do you guys know anyone else is joining or not? No. Okay, then we'll start. So, this is the agenda for today. So, what we are going to talk about is we'll talk about a few of the definitions on Alexa. I mean, there are a few of the terms that has been used in Alexa. So, we'll go with the definition first, and then using all the definition, how they fit into the Alexa architecture, we'll go into that part.
I don't know that one.
Alexa, can you please mute yourself?
Yeah, it's muted.
So, because when we say Alexa, she'll wake up. So then we'll go with one of the demo that is like enabling Alexa skill. So that means like we'll go with some of the third-party skills. Like somebody who might have created Alexa skill will just see that how to activate it inside a speaker, or how to go with the Wi-Fi password and all that stuff. Then we'll go with the demo. We'll create one more our own skill using the .NET, and then we'll try to install it same as we did in the previous. So these are the 4 steps we are gonna do today. So let's start with a few of the definitions. So first thing is, what is Alexa? As few of the people think, or we might think that Alexa is some people think that it is a speaker, or some people think that it is an AI stuff or something like that. But this and all are not actually right thing, but these are the bits and pieces of it. So really, Alexa is a service that has been provided by Amazon. It's a service. What it does is it takes the audio, it interprets that audio, and just try to find out what to do with that. Or most of the time, it will call some of the backend services. So it is a service in which we can do some of the configuration, and then that calls some of the other backend service where we write our own code. So Alexa is a service, not something physical. It's a software. Okay. Now, second definition is, what is Echo or what is Echo Dot? So this is something of physical hardware. Amazon Echo is a hardware that has been provided by Amazon. It comes with the Alexa services inbuilt. There are a few more providers like Harman. Harman also provides one of the speaker with them, which is enabled with the Alexa speakers. Then Philips and all also provides few of the switches that has Alexa services inbuilt into that, and that switches can be worked with Echo also. So the Echo is a speaker. It's a physical speaker. It comes, I mean, this big, and then something like it has a small version also. It is called as Echo Dot. So this guy is Echo Dot. So it is a very small version of the same thing. But extra thing is you can connect external speakers to this because it is a small. So you can connect external speakers to it. But real Echo is you cannot connect any external things. And like that, they have something called Amazon Flash. So it is same. It works with the Alexa skills, but it has one more thing. It also has a small LCD screen. So you can, whatever you speak or whatever, like let's say that you tell Alexa that can you please play a video. So you need to have a screen with that. So if you have an Echo Dot, you will need to connect this Echo Dot with the TV. But that Alexa Flash itself has a small screen, so you can see that in the small screen itself.
What if you just want to play audio?
So this is the speaker. So this you ask her to play any audio, she will play it.
No, if I ask to play video, then don't show video, just play audio.
No, it will not work. I mean, see, I will tell you. Just let me finish few of the definition, and we'll go with that question again. Okay. So you understand Echo Dot, Flash, and then Echo. So now, what is Alexa skill? So this is very important part. Alexa skill is like like let's say if I'm using an Android mobile phone. So what is my app on Android? Exactly same thing is called as Alexa skill in the world of Alexa. So like we have an app store, you will have an Amazon Alexa app in your mobile. Open your Amazon Alexa app In that you will have all the list of skills, exactly as we have in Google Play Store. List of apps we have, right? That we will have a skills into that. So Alexa skill is something which we can work with. Let's say if I say that Alexa, do something like book a. Let's say I'm working in Trainline project right now. So I want to book a train ticket using Alexa. I'll say Alexa, book a train ticket. It will not be able to understand, right? It should be having some connectivity with the train line or some backend code with the train line. So how do I enable that backend code? So I will create one app. In that term, they call it as a skill. So I will create one Alexa skill, let's say by name Trainline. And now I will ask that Alexa use Trainline skill or use Trainline, and then I will ask XYZ. So after whenever I say use Trainline and whatever I say next, we'll go to this skills backend. And then there we can write anything which we want. So any doubts in this skills? It was a little. So we can we'll have a demo of the example skill. Now I think what was your question was like if we ask to play any audio to this. So if I say Alexa, you play something, it doesn't know much things on its own. So you have to tell some of its skills. So for Echo Dot, you have Amazon Music skill that doesn't have capability to play video. So you will be only able to say it to play only audio using Amazon Music, and that to be whatever is stored in your Amazon Music library.
What about some YouTube?
YouTube doesn't have connectivity with this right now. So YouTube has to create its skill on Alexa app.
We can create our own.
Yeah, we can create our own skill, but why will we create for YouTube?
Not for YouTube, just for our own.
Yeah, you can create your own skill, and in that.
If I may answer, like I think probably like the way we'll have to do is like we have to build another skill, which is basically like stream the video, but like only play the.
You have to create your. If you are creating your own skill, then whatever you ask her will be executed on your backend or your Lambda function or whatever. So in your Lambda function, what you have to do, you have to download YouTube, convert it into audio, and then stream it back on the response of that. All that you have to do. So it supports video also, but that video will come to Amazon Flash. So I'll show you to enable one of the skills on Alexa. It's like someone else's skill or maybe Vodafone or something like that.
Right, so Prime Video,
Amazon Flash, yes. Yes. So we'll go to alexa.amazon.com. So it will go to this is the. It's like we have Google App Store, right? So you can tell it this is a Alexa App Store. So whatever things we have, so we can enable some of the music skills, some of the musics and book skill. So if you go to this, you have Amazon Music and then TuneIn and then Kindle Books. You have three options. You can enable any of this. Then you can you can create your own reminders. You can have your smart home enabled. So this is something important. Smart home enabled means you have smart home devices like tube lights and all. So you can tell your like tube light that Alexa, can you dim my tube light 1? So it will have a backend skill connected with you. In smart home also you will have a list of skills you have created. So it will be able to identify what is the meaning of tube light 1. And then it will send command to that tube light 1 to dim it or stop it or switch it on. So we'll go to any custom skill. I'll open translator or anything. We can see it here from BBC News, or let's say we'll go to BBC News. So this is the skill. So here I will have an option that enable this skill. So I have already enabled it. So what you can do is you can ask Alexa, what's my flash briefing? So it will tell you the news. Something like that. And Alexa, what's my flash briefing?
Here's your flash briefing from headlines from BBC News.
Eartha has left a trail of destruction in the virtually destroying 2 islands and killing at least 9 people. Officials say the French and Dutch territory of St. Martin has been reduced to rubble.
So
People
where
on
does
the
this
island of Barbuda are to be moved
get
away
the
as the authorities say it's no
input
longer
from that?
habitable.
Where should I start?
Past
So it is
Puerto
called as
Rico,
wake
not
up word.
enough power for
So if you
many
create a
people,
skill,
and it's heading to
you will have
Florida.
to create a unique
More
wake up
hurricanes,
word.
Jose and Katia have formed
Alexa.
and are now threatening the region.
Alexa, stop. You will have to create a unique wake up word for every skill you create. Let's say if I'm in a train line project, if I create a train line skill, so my wake up word will be train line. So it's like I will say Alexa, open train line, and then if I'll ask any question, we'll go to the my app like that. So this is how we have to enable skills. So we'll
But
have a
here
list.
You didn't use that. Right?
So flash briefing is a wake up word for BBC News.
There is a what's in the news. There it doesn't say flash briefing, right?
Sorry.
Second skill. Second.
Yeah.
What's in the news?
I think let me, because from them I think the word should be news. I'm not sure what's their wake up word, but you will have to give one of the wake up word if you create a custom skill. Let me see. I think the flash briefing is their wake up word. So both of them having different wake up words. So
Could be multiple.
There can be multiple.
yeah, I think they can be news and flash briefing. They might have given two wake up words. So it's like that. Any doubt in this other than this? So we have a simple option like enable the skill and disable the skills. Okay. We'll go to how to give a new share. Then it goes to where's the desktop one. So we have enabled one example skill. Now, what is the wake up word we came to know, right? It's a word which we use to enable our skill or our app. Now, second is session should end or not. Now, this is very important thing. Let's say if I ask Alexa a question, Alexa add two numbers, 1 plus 2. So it will give you that I have added number 3. That's it. Now, if you want to ask the next question, what you will have to do? You will have to again ask Alexa. When you are saying Alexa, you are waking up the speaker. When you are saying wake up word, inside that speaker, you are waking up your own skill. So once Alexa has given the answer, then again, if you want to ask next question, you have to tell your wake up word for the speaker and then wake up word for your app again. Why? Because it has done the answer, but it provides you something called session should end, a Boolean variable. If you put it as false, that I don't want to end the session. So that means whatever question you ask to Alexa, Alexa itself is again asking a question to you. So you can continue words. It's like a conversation word. If you want to do a conversation with Alexa, so like when you want to end the session, then you will say session should end is equal to true. Otherwise, you will say is equal to false. Any doubts in this?
Hey, I had one doubt about this.
Yeah.
So this session you're saying, so is that specific to a particular skill or is it specific to a command inside a skill, right? There may be some commands that I want the session to end on and some I don't, right?
No, it's not related to any command or anything on that. Once you end the session, your session with that skill will be ended.
Okay.
So it's like every next command will be like again you will have to do you will have to tell again Alexa, and then again you have to tell wake up word of your skill also. Then it will wake it up again.
And you can explicitly end the session whenever your skill code executes. Can you also do that?
Yeah, in your skill code, there is some variable called session should end. Whenever you say session should end is equal to true and return it to the web service, then this guy will end the session.
Oh, okay. So that can be written in every response you're saying.
Yeah, every response you have to write it.
Okay.
Whether you want to end the session with that response or you don't want to end the session with this response.
Okay.
So for the people who came new, we just started with the definitions. What is the Alexa? What is the skills? What is the Alexa skill? And then what is the wake up word? And it's just a third slide. And then other than Alexa skill, we covered what is Alexa and what is the echo and echo. So anyone know what is the Alexa skill? That was something important. Whoever came new. So it's like, don't know. Okay, I'll repeat. Sorry for the ones who were there. So it's an important thing. Alexa skill. So it's like whenever you have like in your Google Play Store, you have apps like that. In your Amazon, you have Alexa skill. It's equivalent to the Android app. So if you want Alexa to perform something, you will have to create your own app. It is called as Alexa skill.
To build the skill.
Huh? To build the skill of Alexa, it is called as Alexa skill.
So it's a app.
Yeah, it's a app, something like app, but you don't have to write a code for that. It's provided, like you just do some configuration. It's provided as a software as a service. So you just do some configuration. That app is ready for you. Then it will have something called wake up word. So once you say Alexa open, let's say wake up word is train line. Alexa open train line. So it will wake up that skill, and then whatever you ask to that next will go to your own app or backend of your own app. Now backend can be either AWS Lambda function or any web API you want. So next is slots. Okay, now before going to slots, we'll say something like, as I said, that whatever we'll do is a configuration. The Alexa skill which we create is a configuration on the Amazon Lambda console website. So in the configuration, what all things we have to give? So we have to give 3 things. I've written only 2 things, slots and intent, but we have to give three things. So one of them is like all the sample statements. What all the possible statements that you will ask to Alexa. So let's say I want to create a skill to add 2 numbers. So what all possibilities can be there? Alexa, add 1 plus 2. I'll go only with addition, not with the anything else.
Add 1 to 2.
Add 1 to 2. Add 1 and 2. Add 1 plus 2. So you will have to give all the example statements to Alexa. Now you can create a category to that example statements. Like this example statement is into this category. So that in your code you come to know that the request is coming into this category. So in your code you will play only with the category of that statement, not with the real statement. What statement comes, you don't have to care in your code. Only important thing is which category it is coming from. So all the statement you can provide a category. Now inside the statement, whatever statement is there, it is not coming to you. So there can be something which is called as, I would say in our programming world, a variable. Like say, Alexa, what is in my calendar tomorrow? That is one statement. I will give it as category as calendar. So tomorrow is something which I can ask the day after tomorrow also. So that is called as variable. That is a variable in our terms, but in terms of Alexa, it is called as slots. So in every example statement, what is the variable is called as slots, and the category provided to it is called as intent. Like I can have multiple categories. So in my code, what I have to do, I just have to put if else condition of the intent, that which intent it came from, and I know that for X intent, I will have 2 variables, and you can give a names to also to variable. I mean, the slot has 2 things. What is the name of that variable and what is the type of that variable? Now type is also a very important thing in here in the slots. So in the JSON configuration, you will provide the type also. Now types, there are some inbuilt types, and you can also create your own custom types for that. So let's say there is some inbuilt type, you will use Amazon.date. It is an inbuilt type. So what is the advantage of using inbuilt type is, like let's say you say tomorrow, Alexa, what is in my calendar tomorrow? And in tomorrow is your variable. So tomorrow gets converted to the date format of tomorrow, like 6th of September is there. So 2017-08, the date format that any language understands. So it gets converted into that format. Now, if I say explicitly 6th September, then also it becomes 6th September. Or there can be any way, like today's Thursday, I can say the next Friday. All this, if I have to provide, I'll say that the slot name is date. And if I say Amazon.date, so the speaker, the end user speaks anything like tomorrow, next Friday, or 6th September, all that gets converted to 2016 something. So this is the kind of AI they have provided, so that we can make it easy. So what I can see is like my event is calendar, and then the variable is coming as 6th September. So I'll go and take the event for 6th September. That's it. In my backend, I have to write very less code. Any doubts here?
Any way we can override that? Instead of that, can I have my own NLP which passes the user's command and
That's the closest one that I can give me command to that.
NLP means, let's say, I will give you, if I go the nearest thing what you are asking. So the intent is the right, the category of statements that we provide, all the example statement. So some of the inbuilt intents are given. Like for weather, they have given like all the possible statement they have given. They say that you just write this category intent them. So for that category, you don't have to give sample statements. So and there they are using NLP. But here in our configuration, they don't have any option to put like I want to use my own way of natural language processing.
Can we do this? We can make full sentence as a slot.
Though I mean that's what slot is like in your hand. Whatever you want, you can do that. In the example statement, in between I'll show you that where you put a variable that becomes a slot. So you can make all the full example statement as a slot. It's possible. Yes. Anything? Any other questions? So before that, so we'll see what is the architecture of this Alexa. Or so what do we want to go? We'll go with the. Do you want to see what are the inbuilt slot types? Yeah. If you want, I mean, it's a pretty simple. So date and duration, 4-digit number and time. So these are all the inbuilt. These are amongst the few of the inbuilt types. So as I said that if you say today November 25th, or if you say tomorrow or everything, that becomes like in a date format YYMMDD. It's easy to parse for you. So that's the way it works. So these are the inbuilt types, and then you can give your own custom types also: duration, and 4-digit number, and then time. Then you can have a list types also. So there are a lot many you can go with that. And then for airport, you have so many things. I mean, international airport, and you can speak that domestic airport, international airport, terminal 1, all that becomes an airport type. So which is the airport you can identify, something like that. So other than that, we'll go with the now how its architecture is. So once we are done with the architecture, we'll create one sample demo with us. Just we'll ask Alexa to add 2 numbers. Very small demo. So what is happening inside when we call Alexa? So this is the one. So whatever you speak to it, it doesn't do anything. This echo doesn't do anything. Alexa, as I spoke, that Alexa is a service that is running inside AWS. This echo doesn't. So whatever you speak, echo or echo dot doesn't do anything. Whatever you speak, the complete audio sends to the Alexa services. Now Alexa service parses it, and whatever through configuration that we have provided, let's say if it has to go to some skill, and it goes to that skill, then based on that skill's configuration, it parses it, and then in that skill's configuration, we will have given a backend. So it converts that audio to a JSON. That JSON has something called the intent name, that is a category name of that statements, and all the variables in that intent, and then some of the session information. Session information is also a very important thing. So it in short converts into the JSON and sends the our backend that we have configured with that skill. Then in our backend we can do anything, and there is something else similar to that. That is a response JSON. So we have to give in that format. So whatever format we give that response JSON, that she speaks up. So any doubts here? I think it's a pretty simple architecture they have given. So this is what we, that understood is like we have to first configure our skill, whatever intent sample data it will be there. So we will configure the skill, and then we'll give the endpoint URL, the URL of our backend. What is our backend? So this is how we'll start the configuration, and we'll configure the Alexa service. Then user will start using it. The audio goes to our application service. Then we'll send a text response to this, and then she will speak it out. It's the same thing. And now what is this GUI cards? Now you have you have Google App Store application. It is also another app to install other apps. So like that, if you want to install any app to this, you will also have Amazon Alexa app in your mobile, using which you will enable the skills, or through web also you can go to alexa.amazon.com. So in that there is one on the home page there is one screen called as cards. So let's say whatever you have asked to her will become a card and will be shown there. So you and in your code, in the response JSON, you can return that card also, that in card I want to display this, and in audio I want her to speak this. This is how you can give in the response. So we can see the card. I think we had opened this. Yeah, we have opened this. So if we go to home page, so these are the cards. So these are the thing that we might have asked to definition how to fit in Alexa. I think she might have heard somewhere, it is not refreshed. Yeah, so we asked her that what is the BBC News. So this is the card. It has been generated here. Right now, when we tested, we asked her to display the BBC. So like that, whatever we ask here, it comes as to the cards, and that card we can provide in our code itself. So we'll create someone sample app.
What's the advantage if you put the card in our code itself?
It's like it's really helpful for them. If Alexa is doing some mistake, in the card you have option that is she telling right or not. So we can tell no, and then we can put the things. And then for us also, like whatever I asked her, it may be sometime helpful to see that what and all I asked her and what and all she replied.
It's just a trail.
It's just a trail, like history of what you talk with.
A trail that can be used by multiple sources for whatever reason it can be, either for legal reason or either for
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a history.
Yeah.
So this is the example JSON that will come to us. So like in example statement, I say that it is inside the category TFL info. That is the category name. Then I'll give an example statement that what are your line name, or what are line names or something like related to line name if I say. So that slot name will become line name. So in the example statement, I will have to start with curly brace, and then I'll have to write variable name, that is a slot name, and then ends with the curly brace. So that becomes a slot for me in the example statement, and the category is the intent. So in the input JSON, we'll have multiple intents. Every intent will have a multiple slots, can have a multiple slots. I mean, intent is, as I said, it's a category of a statement. So every example statement can have one category, and each statement can have multiple variables. So this is how it looks like. Example statement. So yeah, here one important thing is type. What is the type here? So as we discussed in the previous example, we said that it will be the Amazon.datetime, Amazon.number. But here I can write XYZ also. Now what are the possible values of that XYZ? So I can provide in that configuration also that this is the category type is line names. So what can be there in the line names? So what Alexa does is, if I speak anything which is which comes in the example statement inside that variable, so it tries to matches the nearest one in that list, that possible values. So nearest one is matched, and then according to that she will send to us whichever is matched. So whatever we speak will not come to us, but instead, like if I say that Amazon.number is my type, if I say 556, so she will convert it into digit 556, and in string I'll get a 556, 556. So like that, she will convert it according. So if I say line names, so whatever possible line names are there, this is the new type. This is not inbuilt type. It's not starting with Amazon. So I have to give the possible values of it. So instead of central, if I say something Sembral, something like that. So she will try to match. Sembral is not there, but maybe she will match it with the central, and for us she will set it central. So this is the custom types we can provide, and sample statements we can provide. Now we'll have something called request types also. So any request that comes to us, I explained that it will have an intent and it will have slots, but it's not like other than that is any request like we asked to her. But other than that, there are also two other types of requests. So one is called as launch request. launch request is something when I say a wake up word to our Alexa skill. Like, whatever wake up word is there. Let's say my app's wake up word is second demo or whatever. So if I say Alexa open second demo, so still request will come to me, but I will not have intent. I will not have any slots. Rather, my request type will be launch request. So in my launch request, I'll say welcome to my app, something like that. Then intent request is the real request, which will have like we want to perform the real task. And then end request is like end request. So we'll have something called start request, end request, where we can give welcome and goodbye messages. And then in between we'll have a real request. So there are 3 types of requests possible here. So this is the example of request. So this is the type of intent request. So you will have a request ID. It's a unique identifier for your request, so that you can identify your request by that. What is the timestamp, sorry. And inside that you will have an intent. Now intent, again, as I explained, will have a name and multiple slots. And then one more important thing is locale. So currently Alexa supports 3 languages. If you speak in terms of languages, only 2. But if you speak in terms of locale, it is 3. So it is EN-US, EN-GB, I mean England, UK English, US English, and German. 3 languages are supported in that. So here also one more thing is like when you give this intent, slots, and example statements, they called as utterances. So whenever you give example statements or intents or slots, you'll have to give it for all the languages. If you want to support multiple languages. In your settings, you can provide that which language you want to support. So we can create any app which supports only one language. My app may be not supporting German language, so that is also possible. It's not compulsory to give in all 3, but you can give in all. So this is the example response. So in my response, I will give you a version number of this response, and then what is the output speech. Output speech has multiple types. It's like a SSML or a plain text or something like that. So it has a multiple types. So whatever I give in an output speech, she will just speak it out. Now SSML is one of the type. I think most of you will know that speak is like directly speak it out, and there is also something like you want her to pause for some time. So it's a completely SSML language. I think we need to
something like speech mark apply.
Yeah. Simple speech mark. Something like that. So you have to, I mean, you can see that, but the main funda behind that is like if you want to pause in between the text for some time, that when she speaks, you want her to pause. You want her to give some reactions also. She can give. So you can give some reactions also in the output speech.
Oh no, you are getting late to airport.
Yeah, something like that you can give. You can give it to her. So this is the example response. And plain text also you can provide. And this guy is very important, as I said, should end session, true or false. So if I give should end session true, then session is ended. If I give it false, then she will again ask the question over that question. So yeah. So I think now comes the boring part, creating real skill.
I think the skill for developers is actually creating the real skill. It's not the boring thing.
Yeah, but I think we have one of my friend who was telling that when you go to technical parts, it'll be boring for you. So we'll create some. First, we'll create one of the. So there are 2 things. So in backend, you can use 2 things. One is a AWS Lambda, and one is a Web API. Any Web API can be in any language. But as we all know that AWS Lambda only supports 4 languages. That is Python, Node.js, C# and Java. So currently we'll go with the AWS Lambda, and then we'll go with the C#, as I'm a .NET dev. So
by the way, for when you say support, right? So what people have done is to create AWS Lambda shim. What it means is that even if it's not supported, like even if it's not there on the website, they take the shim, they convert this into an executable on that particular AWS. What you do is take the AMI Amazon AMI Linux image, convert that into your executable, upload to S3 along with the shim bundle, so that the request comes into your Amazon Lambda, and the Lambda will download the S3 thing, and it will call your shim, and which will invoke your library. So it comes into the language. Yeah, if there is, so that is how it is supported in Python or Ruby, or even Golang is supported using that a small shim library.
But the best part of AWS Lambda is best part of Amazon skill is, other than AWS Lambda, it also supports a plain web API.
Plain web.
So it's like if you don't want to do like anything on AWS Lambda, and if you want plain API on our EC2 instance or anything, then that is also supported. And then one more thing is like to identify user, as we have seen in the request, there is something called session attributes was also there. So based on that, we'll identify our request. To identify request, it supports auth too. So we'll go and we'll create one new skill. So there are 4 types of skills. So one is a flash, we'll go with it now. Video skill API. I mean, all the names says themselves. Video skill API is like you want to see the video. The output of your skill will be the video. Flash brief him as you see in the BBC. And once we ask, she'll start speaking. She'll not wait for the answer. So, and then smart home skill API. This is the highly used, very highly used API, and most of the people are buying Alexa or this Echo Dot only for this skill, smart home skill API. It's like controlling your home devices or something. And then custom skill, like whatever, anything that doesn't comes into that 3 category goes to the last one. So we'll create one custom skill. So we'll give any name, and then invocation name. So as I said, wake up word. So this is important thing. Invocation name is something when you speak Alexa, open this guy, this invocation name, then our skill will be open. What do you want to? TW. We'll give thought. We'll give thought calc. Okay. Somebody told TW calc. So this is something like audio player, video player, and render template. So this thing is like, does it play any audio in your sample? You can send the audio also, or you can create audio skill itself. Then does it play any video, or does it render any template? Render any template means, does it return any HTML to be displayed on Flash, your Flash response? Yeah. Like Echo Dot, as I speak earlier, we also have something called Amazon Flash. So you can do that. So we are saying no to everything, and we should, there should be some option to say sorry also. So it has created. We'll go to next. So here, as I explained, there's 3 parts. First, this part is intents. So you will have to give intent JSON. What is your intent name, and what are the slots possible into this? And then second part is, if inside this intent, do you have any custom slots? What is the name of that custom slots, and what are the list of values for that? And then these are the sample statements. This sample statements always starts with the intent name and then statement. So we'll create an intent schema. Maybe I'll copy from somewhere, as we are all developers. So here I can give the languages, that this interaction model is in which language. So this is in ENUS. So here it's like, this is the intents, and this is my first intent, which will have a name. I'll give first, or whatever we want to give. Then it will have slots. Again, slots is array. And again, slots will have something JSON same name and type. So we'll get. So I'll display it from here. So what I've done is I've created 3 types of intents. One is I will ask Alexa to add 2 numbers, but what I want is I don't want her to stop there. I want to continue doing on it. So in a calculator app, how is it possible? So what I've done is I've created 3 types of intents. First, I'll ask her to add 2 numbers, and answer to that, she'll give result also, and she'll again ask, please tell the next number. So in next number, we'll continue, keep on saying next number until we say result. So we have 3 categories. First, we have asked her to add numbers. Second is we are speaking a single number, or we are third category is we are saying either result or done or anything. So we have 3 categories here. So in my first category, I have 2 variables, first number and second number. In my second category, I have only 1 category, that is num. And that is a type of Amazon.number. This is also Amazon.number, all 3. In my third category, result, I don't have slots only. No slots. Any doubts in this? So pretty simple thing. And all these are Amazon numbers, where whichever slots I've used are Amazon.number. So I don't have any custom slots. So leave it as it is. Now we'll go with the example statement for all 3. So I will go with the first. Is it capital or? No, it's not capital. It's in a title case. So we'll ask her to add. Now here comes the variable. First num and second num. So this is like one example statement that I can tell her. So whenever request comes to me, it will be coming as this is the type, and this is variable 1, and this is variable 2. Only these 3 things I'll get. I should be able to understand from that. Okay. So we'll. Something we can do. That's it, too much. Now we will create a second category that I've given name as Vadar. Here I can give only number. So variable name here I've given is as num. In the schema above, here I've given first num and second num, and in the second one I've given variable name as num. Also, there is one more thing is like you can repeat the variable name. Like if for some variable name first num is inside the first category, so you can repeat that inside the second category also. It's not, there is no restriction there. You can have first num here also. But I have used the different name. So I have used num. So here I'll say only num, or somebody will say with add word. Add.
Because each intent is scoped. That's the reason you could use it again.
Sorry?
Each intent is scoped to its own.
Yeah.
That's why you could use that.
Yeah, you can use that. Each slot is scoped to that
intent.
Yeah. So you can use the same slot into another intent. So same name, it becomes this different slot anyway. So and then third is result. I can say okay, or I can create. Yeah. Done. Calc result. Okay, we're done. So these are the possible statements that we can give. So this is this is the important part of our Alexa app. Once we understand this, I think we are done. We are almost done with it. Now next part is, I'll reduce the zoom level, I think. Maybe now fonts are not that important, but looking the whole screen is more important. So we have like 4 or 5 steps here. So here when you press save, and in example statement, if you have given result, and here you have given some X variable, so it will check there with the schema also. that in your result you don't have X variable and all. So it has a validation on this level only. So it is smart enough. So here you can give like what is your endpoint? Is it like AWS Lambda or HTTPS? You can create an HTTPS API on your any language, but once you create on your HTTPS API, it should support that request type and should return that response that was given in the example JSON. So we'll go with the AWS Lambda. So we don't want geographic things. Now here are the permissions. So it's like once you say, let's say you are creating a skill for your app, which is buying something. So when they create an account on Amazon.com, we always give our own address. So do you want to get that address? Do your skill want that address? So once you say yes, then what end user will have to do? It just have to say that can you please deliver X thing on my address? My address, that's it. Then my address will get converted to real address when it comes to our backend. So they have something called Amazon.address also. So, but for the limitation of Amazon.address is once you create this skill, you need to give this permission. Once this permission is given, you can get the address. Then there is something called lists also. You can create a list, to-do list or something like that in your app. So in your Amazon Alexa app and users Amazon Alexa app. So it's like, do your skill want to read and users list or not? So this is kind of that permission. So that we can give like, you can tell like Alexa, order whatever is there in my list. So it's like address also you got, your list also you got, something like that. So these are the permissions. Okay, so here the important part is we have to give ARN of Lambda function that we're going to use. So we'll create a new 152. We'll not create a new Lambda function. I think Lambda is we'll just go through this Lambda function. It's the same because I copied the intent from there, so it's the same. So once I got this is the request.
Can you zoom?
Yeah.
That's not happening.
So it has Lambda function has two types: the skill request and skill response. So what I've done is I've used something called Lambda serializer. So what it will do is if I give any C# object, and if it forms to the same way or same structure that JSON supports, so it will automatically convert it into a C# class, and when it comes to me, I will have a proper class. But in Node.js, it is like everything is JSON itself. So if you are using Node.js, you can directly use input dot something dot. So I also got something like that. So using that input, I just checked that what is the I got the request type. I've created this is the method ready, and here what it will check. It will just check that in the request you will have in your JSON you will have something called dot intent dot request type, something like that, as we seen in the example. So from that we can get the request type. So I'll just check that is it a launch request, as we saw that tree. So I'll say just hello, please ask me to add numbers. Then second thing I can check is sorry. Second thing I can check is it a session and request. So it's like we can ask her to anything we can tell. Then third thing is intent request. So this is the real request. So as we have seen in the JSON example JSON, we have something called in input, we have something called request. In that we have intent, and intent we have slots and name, two things we have. So here we are checking what is the name. Is the name first or is other or result? What is my real name? If it is first, what I come to know that inside that I'll have two variables. Inside slots, I'll have two variables, first number and second number, because I have configured it like that. And what I'll do, I'll just take that first number, second number, and then do result. Do plus operations. If it is other request, I know I will have only one, something called num in my slots variable. So I just got that variable and I will add it with the previous result. And then if it is result, so I just have to say, I don't have to do anything. Now this 3 lines it is common here. So what I'm giving is, in response, I'm giving should end session or not. So this is false, means I will still continue it. Next is should end session, false. I will still continue it. Now when says result, should end session is equal to true. I'm done.
In the launch, can you pass in the session and generate a session ID
Yeah.
and pass in so that whenever it gives the subsequent request to you, to your API, will it pass the same ID into your?
What I'm doing is I have created one static in C#.
Instead of creating a static,
Yeah.
can you actually, because it's not multi-threaded, right?
Yeah.
So now if you generate a session ID and when the launch intent comes in, so you send it as a response in your session ID. When the next request comes to your API, you will get the same session ID.
Yeah. Because in response variable, you have this response variable, right? So in response variable, you have something called session attributes.
Okay.
And in request variable also, you have session attributes. So whatever you pass it in the previous request or whatever you set it into the session attribute will comes back.
That's how you maintain the session actually.
Yeah, that's how you maintain the session. Because this static variables you cannot guarantee, because there's something in Lambda is like when your second request comes, it will create a new instance. So it will be like your result will be zero. So you cannot guarantee on. So it's a pretty simple code. Backend has, I think, almost nothing, I would say.
But people have exploited that, they make static as cache, but not as static as real static. Yeah.
Most of the time in Lambda, static is being used as cached. Yeah, for Lambda, since the Lambda has come. So this was the code. Any doubt in the code? It looks pretty simple. Anything in the code? So we'll go next and we'll just give this ARN to Lambda. I will have to get this ARN. So I think this is the ARN for that Lambda. This is our skill. So we'll give this ARN. We'll say save. Is it there, right? So one of the best feature of like Visual Studio is it internally gives you like right click, add new, create AWS Lambda. And then once you write this code, you have something called right click and publish to Lambda. Done. You don't have to even go to AWS console. So once you're using Visual Studio, try to install something called AWS Toolkit. It will give you S3 access, Lambda access directly to your Visual Studio level. Okay. So here, so now this is something where we can do a testing. You can enter any statements or anything like that, and then your response will come here. So this is for the testing part. And then next is like you can give like any certificate you want, and then you can publish it. This like what are the example phrases? Whatever you write that comes into the skill page of that. Like we saw BBC page, right? So whatever you write it here, what your testing instruction, short skill description, full script, example statements, all this is there inside your skills page. So that comes there, and this is the image like short icon and large icon. Short icon will be displayed in short devices, and large icon in the large devices. And then last thing is like publish. So once you publish it, it will go to Amazon team. There's something called certify. They say it as certified, not published. So it will go to Amazon team, and they will check that it is proper app. Or it is pretty much similar like we do it with the Android apps or iOS apps. So similar approach. It will go to them, and then they will check it out, and then when they will approve, it will be available for public for anyone who uses Alexa. But second part is here you have something called in test. You have this option. Please complete the model tab for start testing skill. So this skill is enabled for your testing account. So once you do yes, then this skill is enabled at least for your account, whichever account you're logged in. If you have device for your account, it is enabled. It is installed and enabled for you. It's not like not only listing, but it is installed and it is enabled. So yeah. So you can go to your home page. So this is home page. So somewhere you have option of like my skills. Homepage only, because in mobile I can show you there is an option of my skills. So there the skill will start coming. Yeah, in skills you have your skills. So right now whatever we have created, I think demo TT is the one we have created. So this has come here. So invocation name is ThoughtCalc. So we'll test. Alexa, open ThoughtCalc.
Hello, Nabil. Please ask me to add numbers.
Can you please add 2 with 3?
I have added the numbers and result is 0. Please tell next number.
Say 2 and 3, but was not there in the.
Thank you, Mohammed. Your result is 0.
Alexa, open
ThoughtCalc.
I'm
ThoughtCalc.
not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, open ThoughtCalc.
Hello, Nabil. Please ask me to add numbers.
Add 2 and 5.
I have added the numbers and result is 7. Please tell next number.
8.
I have added the numbers and result is 15. Please tell next number or say it until finish.
Done.
Thank you, Mohammed. Your result is 15.
You said 2 with 3.
Yeah, that's why. And in the example we have added only and. So that's why she was not able to identify. And in slots she sent 0 0. Intent name and slots. So I think we are on time, or yeah, we are on time. So can you please just send me a feedback? How was the demo? Because I'm taking it for the first time here. And everyone on the Zoom, thanks a lot for joining.
No, I'm here.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
It's really nice.
So,
Can I just want to learn how to start this?
Is this device just a transmitter, or like just records the voice and forwards it on?
It has 2 things, mic and speaker. Okay. And it is said to be having a very powerful mics, and these mics are like multiple mics. So it can listen you from multiple directions. So this is the capability of it. And second thing, it will show you that which mic it is listening to. Alexa, it is listening to this one right now.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know that one.
okay. It's okay. Cool down. Oh.
So how do you configure this device to that, like talk to that particular application?
That's what, like, as I show in your skills. So you have logged in. You have logged in here in home. You go to setting. You say that this is my device, current device. But this is like, let's say I have bought a new only. So I have something called setup new device. So once I set up, I'll go to echo dot, and then in the setup, I'll just it will show that this guy will get converted into the hotspot. So it will say that instead of connecting to your internet, connect to that hotspot. So once I connect to that hotspot, all the settings things, it will ask that Wi-Fi username and password and all. So that guy works with Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So it will ask for Wi-Fi username and password. If I do that, it is set it up. Now I don't need a computer.
So you need that device to have like build that Alexa application.
No,
It's not necessary.
not necessarily.
You can use your mobile and all.
Yeah, you can use your mobile also. I mean, React Native is having integration with your Alexa. Alexa is a voice service, right? And this is Echo Dot. Alexa stop. So it is having React Native is also having the services, that service, and then you can create your own speakers also. Harman is also providing one of the speaker that you can connect with Alexa, and then it has a competitors also. Google Smart Home is a very big competitor of it. So the same thing, Google Home provides a speaker, the same service. The service is called as Google Assistant.
Yeah.
But is it open for other devices like
Google Assistant?
Google Assistant is open for phones and stuff like that?
Yeah, it is also open for anything. It has a React Native integration.
So you don't need this device.
Yeah,
so if you just have a mic and a speaker.
Yeah, it is behaving as a mic and speaker.
So
a powerful mic and speaker.
This doesn't have any intelligence, right?
No, it doesn't have anything. It just uploads whatever you speak to
Okay.
Alexa services, and Alexa services having.
So it doesn't communicate with the host computer. It
No,
uses
no,
Wi-Fi.
it is just.
Or
It is a Wi-Fi. I have taken it as only as a power source.
Okay. Oh.
It doesn't have battery.
Okay.
And how much does this cost?
$50, $49.9. It's like 3,500. And Google Smart Home is like $129.
What is the use case like? What use case you've been using for training? Is it for the training project?
No. I want to switch on my lights and I don't want to start
Okay.
from the sofa.
So that should be also smart lights, right?
No, not required. So
Or else you will have to do some Raspberry Pi connection.
Yeah.
Integration.
Raspberry Pi, ESP8266, Node MCU, so on. And you don't, I mean, as you said, smart devices are also there. So there's a Philips is providing socket in India also. So it is connected with Alexa. You just say, Alexa, open that guy. Just have to install it. Their skills. You don't have to be technical person itself. But that one socket is this socket. One single socket is 20,000 rupees in Indian rupees.
Oh. Okay. You can build on
Are you an electronics student? Electronics student?
Me?
Yeah, nice man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's good. It's good.
Thanks.
Alexa, it's time to go home.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
But I am sure.
How to stop this meeting? Meeting is still running.
Oh yeah, so when I install it, so sure.
You तो वहाँ पर
More में जाना, more में जाना.